The disappearance of hundreds of vials of viruses. The mysterious disappearance of hundreds of vials containing dangerous viruses from an Australian laboratory has raised serious concerns about biosecurity and laboratory oversight. A report released at the end of 2024 confirmed that 323 vials of highly infectious pathogens, including Hendra virus, hantavirus, and Lyssa vanished from Queensland's Public Health Virology Laboratory. This significant breach in biosecurity has left both health officials and the public questioning how such a dangerous lapse could occur and what potential consequences might arise from the missing samples. The missing vials were initially discovered in 2021 when a freezer storing the samples broke down. However, investigators did not confirm the breach until August 2023, leading to frustration and alarm over the delay in addressing the situation. Queensland Health Minister Tim Nicholls announced that while the missing samples could, in theory, be weaponised, the level of expertise required to do so meant this was not an immediate concern. Nonetheless, the lack of proper documentation and the inability to track the vials raise critical issues about the effectiveness of existing biosecurity measures and the potential risks posed by lost viral samples. Queensland Chief Health Officer John Gerard stated that the samples were likely transferred to a different freezer without proper record-keeping, leading to uncertainty about their whereabouts. He acknowledged that they might have been removed from secure storage and lost, but investigators were unable to confirm whether the vials had been destroyed or if they remained missing. The loss of such hazardous biological material has fueled speculation about whether this was simply a case of administrative negligence or if more concerning factors were at play. The 3 viruses involved in the breach are all highly dangerous to humans and animals. Hendra virus, first identified in 1994, primarily affects horses, but has a documented ability to jump to humans, with a mortality rate of approximately 57%. It is transmitted by fruit bats, making it a zoonotic disease with significant potential for cross-species infection. Hantavirus, another zoonotic pathogen, originates in rats and spreads through their bodily fluids. In humans, it can cause hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which leads to severe respiratory symptoms and has a fatality rate of nearly 38%. Lyssa virus, a close relative of rabies, is one of the deadliest viruses known, with virtually no chance of survival once symptoms appear. Despite the serious implications of the missing vials, Queensland health officials have attempted to reassure the public that there is no immediate danger. Chief Health Officer Gerard emphasised that virus samples degrade rapidly outside of controlled laboratory conditions, particularly without proper freezing, which renders them non-infectious over time. He speculated that the most likely explanation was that the vials had been unintentionally destroyed in an autoclave, a standard laboratory procedure used to sterilise hazardous materials. However, he admitted that inadequate documentation made it impossible to confirm this outcome with certainty. One of the most concerning aspects of this case is the bureaucratic delays in confirming the missing samples. It took a year for investigators to receive approval to open the freezer where the viruses were supposed to be stored, highlighting serious inefficiencies in the oversight process. Given the risks associated with biosecurity lapses, many have criticised the authorities for their slow response and lack of transparency. The incident has sparked discussions about the need for stricter regulations and more comprehensive tracking systems for dangerous biological materials. Laboratories handling high-risk pathogens must adhere to the highest standards of security, and any discrepancies in inventory must be immediately addressed to prevent potential outbreaks or unauthorized access to dangerous agents. This case underscores the importance of stringent record-keeping and oversight mechanisms, as well as the need for rapid response protocols when such breaches occur. While there is no direct evidence suggesting that the missing virus samples have been intentionally taken for malicious purposes, the uncertainty surrounding their fate remains troubling. In an era where concerns about accidental laboratory leaks are increasing, the disappearance of potentially lethal pathogens cannot be taken lightly. Experts warn that even if the vials were unintentionally discarded, the failure to properly account for them represents a major weakness in biosecurity practices. Queensland authorities insist that there is no reason to believe the public is at risk, but the case raises broader concerns about how biological research facilities manage and secure hazardous materials. Whether the samples were lost due to human error or something more sinister remains unclear. Until conclusive evidence confirms their destruction, the mysterious disappearance of these vials will continue to fuel speculation and debate over laboratory safety, regulatory oversight, and the potential dangers of missing lethal pathogens. The mystery of Vladimir Alexandrov. The disappearance of Vladimir Alexandrov remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of the Cold War era. A distinguished Soviet climatologist, Alexandrov played a crucial role in the development and global dissemination of the nuclear winter theory. His research, which suggested that a nuclear war would result in catastrophic climate consequences, had profound political implications. At a time when tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were at a peak, Alexandrov's work was seen as a powerful tool for influencing public opinion and global policy. However, his rising prominence and international travel privileges made him a figure of intrigue, and by 1985 he had become an individual of interest to both the Soviet KGB and the American CIA. In March 1985, Alexandrov arrived in Spain to attend a scientific conference in Córdoba. He was treated with high regard, reflecting his growing status as a scientist and political figure. Upon landing at Madrid's Barajas airport, he was transported to the Soviet embassy before proceeding to Córdoba. However, according to reports, he displayed uncharacteristically erratic behavior after leaving the embassy, insisting on going to a bar immediately. His sudden shift in demeanor raised questions about what might have transpired during his visit to the embassy. Some speculated that he had been given orders or received disturbing news that altered his state of mind. During his time in Córdoba, Alexandrov was closely accompanied by his hosts, but his actions were increasingly unpredictable. His preoccupation with the CIA was evident, as he repeatedly mentioned the agency, almost as though he felt he was being watched or pursued. His behavior became more concerning when he was driven back to Madrid and once again visited the Soviet embassy. Accounts from those who interacted with him during this time are inconsistent, with some suggesting he was agitated and reluctant, while others claimed he seemed cooperative. These discrepancies only add to the mystery surrounding his final days. What happened after Alexandrov entered the Soviet embassy in Madrid remains unknown. He was never seen again. Theories surrounding his disappearance abound, but concrete evidence is scarce. Some speculate that he defected, though there is no indication that he intended to abandon his work or his country. Others believe he was taken by the CIA, concerned about the extent of his access to American computing technology, particularly the Cray supercomputer at the National Center for Atmospheric Research. If he was indeed taken by American intelligence, his fate remains a mystery, as no further trace of him has ever surfaced. The Soviet government, however, pushed an alternative theory. According to the Mitrokhin archive, which details secret KGB operations, high-ranking Soviet officials openly accused the CIA of taking Alexandrov. In a 1987 conference, the head of the KGB's first chief directorate, Vladimir Kryuchkov, directly confronted Robert Gates, the deputy director of the CIA, accusing the agency of holding Alexandrov against his will. The accusation, though dramatic, was never substantiated, and no definitive proof of CIA involvement ever emerged. Another possibility is that Alexandrov was eliminated by his own government. The Soviet Union had a history of silencing individuals who were perceived as threats, whether due to fears of defection, concerns about espionage, or simply because they had outlived their usefulness to the regime. If Alexandrov had become a liability, he may have been quietly removed by the KGB. His increasing paranoia and the urgency with which he sought alcohol after leaving the embassy in Madrid could indicate that he had been given distressing news, perhaps an order to return to Moscow permanently, or a warning that his movements were being restricted. The contradictions in the accounts of his final hours further cloud the case. Some acquaintances claimed he resisted as he was driven toward the embassy, while others said he went willingly. If he was taken against his will, it is unclear why no witnesses have come forward with definitive testimony. Additionally, if he was forcibly repatriated to the Soviet Union, it is puzzling that no official explanation for his disappearance was ever provided. The Soviet government was known to fabricate narratives when necessary, but in Alexandrov's case, there was only silence. More than 3 decades have passed since Vladimir Alexandrov vanished, and his case remains one of the Cold War's lingering mysteries. Nobody has ever been found. No confession has surfaced, and no official documents have provided a definitive answer. His groundbreaking research on nuclear winter continues to influence climate science and geopolitical discussions, but his fate is lost to history. Whether he was taken by intelligence agencies, assassinated by his own government, or disappeared voluntarily, the truth remains elusive. His disappearance serves as a stark reminder of the shadowy intersections of science, politics, and espionage during one of the most tense periods in modern history. The unsolved case of Emanuela Orlandi. Since her last sighting on June 22, 1983, following a music class in Rome, 15-year-old Emanuela Orlandi, the daughter of a Vatican official, has remained missing. In the theories surrounding Orlandi's disappearance, amateur investigators have accused various individuals and groups of being responsible for her disappearance, and despite the fact that the case has never been resolved, and she has never even been located, disturbing new evidence has brought the case back to light. For the first time in over 35 years, a promising 2019 lead involving bones found in Vatican City that were thought to be hers appeared to be leading authorities in the right path. But investigators' hopes were soon crushed once more. Even now, the mystery surrounding Emanuela Orlandi's disappearance is still unsolved and unsettling. Although they lived in a small, close-knit neighborhood where their father was a powerful figure, Emanuela Orlandi's brother Pietro claimed that they had a Vatican upbringing and that they felt safest in the world. However, on June 22, 1983, their home turf proved to be anything but safe. She was studying the flute 3 days a week at a nearby music school, and that's exactly what she was doing the day she disappeared. She arrived in class and spoke with her sister afterwards, but she never returned home. Her last known communication with anyone was that phone call to her sister. The following day, Emanuela Orlandi was formally declared missing, and as soon as any tips came in, the inquiry was launched. Particularly, 2 tips, one from June 25th and another from June 28th, seemed to point investigators in the right direction. Referring to himself as Pierluigi, the first caller claimed to have seen Orlandi that day in Rome, and even gave specifics about her attire and flute that led detectives to conclude he was telling the truth. He continued by saying that Orlandi had told her sister that the girl, who was going by the name Barbarella, had fled from home in order to sell Avon goods. On June 28th, the second caller reported to the police that he had also met a young woman who had run away from home and went by the name Barbara. This man's account of seeing her at a pub close to the music school seems plausible. However, subsequent informants began discussing a plot involving the Grey Wolves, a Turkish organization who was planning to take Emanuela Orlandi and then trade her for one of their own assassins who had been imprisoned for firing at the Pope 2 years prior. To explain what transpired, several explanations have been proposed. Considering the Vatican and its surroundings are a center of mafia and religious influence, those organizations are frequently viewed with distrust. The Banda della Magliana, a criminal organization with headquarters in Rome and commanded by Enrico de Pedis, is at the center of most mafia hypotheses. According to the notion, the syndicate determined that holding the daughter of a Vatican official hostage would be the best method to recover the vast sums of money they had borrowed to the Vatican Bank but were not receiving in return. This theory has been bolstered by anonymous information to the authorities, and de Pedis' ex-girlfriend later went public with her accusation that he told her he had taken Orlandi. However, hard evidence is scant, and a police check of the gangster's grave, which one tipster had suggested might yield DNA evidence supporting the hypothesis, produced no results. There appears to be more evidence supporting the Grey Wolves' idea. On May 13, 1981, Grey Wolf Mehmet Ali Aga attempted to take out Pope John Paul II in the Vatican by firing at him 4 times, but was apprehended right away. In the weeks after Orlandi vanished, a number of anonymous calls to the authorities raised the possibility that Orlandi was being held by Turkish militants with the intention of trading her for Aga. One scenario regarding the Orlandi case, and possibly the most unsettling claim, is that Emanuela Orlandi and other girls were taken by the Vatican. According to The Telegraph, the hypothesis goes on to say that these parties included foreign ambassadors as well. The accusation can't be completely discounted, though, because the source of it was Father Gabriele Amoth, the senior exorcist for the Vatican and a man personally nominated by John Paul II. In an attempt to eventually solve this mystery, officials have pursued numerous leads, and responded to a large number of tips in the nearly 40 years since Emanuela Orlandi vanished. Maybe the most thrilling tip of all was the 2019 letter that purported to indicate her final resting location. Early in the year, Laura Scrow, the attorney for the Orlandi family, got a very sinister note that included a picture of a tomb under the Vatican and instructions to look where the angel is pointing, referring to the marble angel that was watching over the crypt in question. The Vatican's top officials took notice of the anonymous tip, and spokesman Alessandro Gisotti intervened to handle the matter delicately. The fact that scientific examinations conducted on the tomb after the letter was sent indicated that it had been opened at least once recently enough for Orlandi's bones to have been hidden within is what made this tip so intriguing. Scrow added that she had been able to verify that some people knew there was a chance Emanuela Orlandi had been hidden in the tomb in a letter to the Vatican. The fact that flowers had been left at the tomb site provided even more proof that anonymous individuals had been paying visits. Now it was just a matter of searching the crypt to see if Emanuela Orlandi's remains were indeed within. The Orlandi family had previously had their hopes raised by an anonymous tip before the angel letter became public in 2019. The family most recently held its breath in unison when the Vatican found human remains on its grounds on October 2018, only to be disappointed to learn that the remains belonged to unrelated individuals. Regretfully, this occurred once more in July 2019, when no remains were found during the tomb search. Alessandro Gisotti, a spokesman for the Vatican, stated that the entrance to the tomb opened onto a large subterranean area that was completely empty and had no human remains. It was devastating news for the Orlandi family, who had spent nearly 40 years patiently and devotedly looking for the lost girl's remains. Pietro Orlandi, the brother, stated that he was relieved that Emanuela was not there. He also mentioned that his family has become accustomed to the illusions and disillusions associated with this pointless pursuit. Even so, it is nevertheless notable that the Vatican abruptly changed their mind about cooperating in this case, even if nothing was discovered. Pietro Orlandi claimed that after pleading with the Vatican several times to help with his sister's disappearance, he was positively surprised when they eventually acceded. It was suggested by Pietro Orlandi that the Vatican's denial of assistance amounted to an admission that there is a possibility of internal responsibility on their part. However, despite the Vatican's assistance, the case of Emanuela Orlandi's disappearance remains unsolved. The mystery of Kylyn Louder. The case of Kylyn Louder remains a haunting and perplexing mystery. Kylyn was born on January 21, 1984, and grew up alongside her brother Colton. She earned a degree in social work from Utah State University in 2006 and seemed to have a bright future ahead. However, tragedy struck her family in 2009 when her brother Colton silenced their uncle, Jeffrey Ackerman, an event that led to Colton being sentenced to 5 years in prison. Though Kylyn reportedly never exhibited signs of mental struggles, she faced prolonged periods of unemployment, which caused some distress. Her father described her as a little down due to her struggles, but her mother maintained that she was in good spirits, actively applying for jobs, and hopeful about her future. On the night of September 26, 2014, Kylyn made a strange call to the police. She reported that a fight was happening in her condo's clubhouse and insisted that weapons, including guns, were involved. When police arrived, they found a wedding reception taking place, but no signs of a fight or disturbance. The guests confirmed that nothing unusual had occurred, raising questions about why Kylyn had made the call in the first place. Just an hour later, she called again, but hung up before speaking to a dispatcher. When police called her back, she seemed disoriented, had difficulty remembering her address, and was mumbling. During the conversation, she mentioned that her roommate believed she was being paranoid and delusional. The next morning, at 8:18 on September 27th, Kylyn made her final call to the police, this time in a state of extreme distress. She claimed that there was an intruder in her condo. In the background, police could hear her shouting for the supposed intruder to leave. However, her roommate insisted that no one else was inside the home, as the door remained securely bolted. When authorities arrived, they found no evidence of a break-in or robbery, reinforcing the roommate's claim that no one had entered the apartment. This sequence of erratic behavior distressing emergency calls, and seemingly irrational fears marked the last confirmed interactions anyone had with Kylyn before she vanished. Later that same day, security cameras captured Kylyn outside her condo complex near an area leading to a creek. At 3:30 in the afternoon, she was seen standing in the rain, dressed in shorts and a tank top, barefoot despite the wet and chilly conditions. 2 hours later, at 5:45 in the afternoon, she was recorded running across the same area, but her pace suggested that she was not being chased. In the final footage, she was seen carrying her dog back toward the same location. Her behavior appeared animated, and she seemed to be speaking either to herself or to her dog. These were the last known movements of Kylyn before she disappeared. Kylyn was reported missing later that day. For weeks, her family and friends searched desperately, hoping for a breakthrough. Then, on December 1st, 2014, more than 9 weeks later, her body was discovered in the Jordan River, approximately 5 miles from her condo. Authorities conducted an autopsy, but the results were inconclusive. While no medication was found in her system and there was no immediate evidence of foul play, her family remained deeply skeptical of the official findings. They believed that there was more to the story than what authorities suggested. Theories about what happened to Kylyn continue to circulate. One possibility is that she experienced a sudden onset of a psychological episode, which could explain her paranoia, hallucinations, and erratic behavior in the days leading up to her disappearance. Some suggest that she may have wandered into the creek outside her condo, which connects to the Jordan River. The heavy rains on the day she vanished could have caused water levels to rise, potentially allowing her body to be carried downstream. However, skeptics argue that this theory does not fully explain why she ended up in the river or why her calls indicated she feared for her life. Another unsettling theory is that foul play was involved. Some speculate that someone may have been following Kylyn, or that she encountered a threat that police failed to detect. The gaps in her timeline, the strange security footage, and her heightened fear before disappearing have led some to believe that something more sinister may have taken place. However, with no conclusive evidence supporting this theory, authorities have stood by their assessment that her death was not a result of foul play. Kylyn's case remains an open-ended mystery that continues to baffle those who follow it. The details surrounding her final hours paint a troubling picture, but without further evidence, definitive answers remain elusive. Whether she succumbed to a psychological breakdown, met with an accident, or was the victim of an undiscovered crime, her family continues to seek the truth. Until that truth is uncovered, the disappearance and death of Kylyn Louder remain one of the most haunting unsolved cases in recent history. The mysterious case of Ray Gricar. Ray Frank Gricar, an American attorney, held the position of district attorney in Center County, Pennsylvania, from 1985 that ended in 2005. On April 15, 2005, Gricar disappeared under circumstances that remain unknown, and no communication has been received since then. Gricar contacted Fornicola on April 15, 2005, to notify her that he was entering the Brush Valley region located northeast of Center Hall. Following Gricar's failure to return home, Fornicola reported him missing late that evening. The next day, investigators located Gricar's crimson Mini Cooper in the parking lot of a local antique store in Lewisburg. The vehicle housed his county-issued mobile phone, but it did not include his laptop computer, keys, or personal wallet. Investigators found no indications of malicious intent. According to police and family members, the vehicle's position, next to 2 bridges across the Susquehanna River, had resemblances to the placement of Gricar's older brother Roy's vehicle when he took his own life in 1996. Subsequent to the identification of Gricar's vehicle, officials conducted a thorough search of the river and its banks, but were unable to locate any trace of him. Law enforcement officials also saw that the conduct of a sniffer dog in the vicinity of Gricar's vehicle indicated a possibility of his entering another vehicle with another individual. Pennsylvania officials commissioned the FBI to examine Gricar's bank accounts, credit card information, and cell phone records, but were unable to discover any indications of his whereabouts. The county-issued laptop belonging to Gricar was found by fishermen in the Susquehanna River, beneath a bridge between Lewisburg and Milton, on July 30th. However, the hard drive of the laptop was not found. Divers conducted a thorough search of the river area in close proximity to its discovery during the following days, but were unable to locate any further objects. Approximately 2 months later, a hard drive was found on the banks of the Susquehanna River, approximately 100 yards or 91 meters away from the laptop's whereabouts. Investigators speculated that it had originated from the laptop, but it was severely damaged. Despite extensive analysis by the FBI, the US Secret Service, and the data recovery company Kroll OnTrack, no retrieval of any data was made. In April 2009, Belafonte police disclosed that prior to Gricar's disappearance, someone individual had accessed the home computer at the residence he cohabitated with for Nicola and conducted online searches on subjects including how to corrupt a hard drive, how to sabotage a hard drive, and water damage to a notebook computer. In June 2011, Lara, the daughter of Gricar and executor of his estate, filed a petition with Center County to officially declare him deceased. The next day, law enforcement in Utah apprehended an individual who bore a striking resemblance to Gricar on a misdemeanor conviction, but he declined to disclose his true name. This John Doe had a striking resemblance to Gricar in terms of stature, weight, lips, and even certain wrinkles, which prompted conjecture that Gricar had been discovered. Center County authorities forwarded duplicates of Gricar's fingerprints to Utah, but both sets did not correspond. Authorities ultimately determined the identity of the man. Given his 6-year absence without any evidence of his location, his story continues to be a mystery. The mysterious disappearance of Jim Thompson. Jim Thompson, an American businessman and former military officer, is a name synonymous with the revival of the Thai silk industry in the mid-20th century. His efforts not only brought global recognition to Thai silk, but also played a crucial role in preserving the craft during a time when it was on the brink of extinction. However, Thompson's legacy is shadowed by one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century, his sudden and unexplained disappearance in the Cameron Highlands of Malaysia on 26th of March, 1967. Despite extensive searches and numerous theories, the fate of Jim Thompson remains unsolved, leaving behind a fascinating enigma that continues to captivate the world. Born in 1906 in Greenville, Delaware, Jim Thompson was a man of diverse interests and talents. He studied architecture at Princeton University and later worked as an architect in New York City. During World War II, Thompson joined the Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the CIA, and was stationed in Southeast Asia, where he developed a deep fascination with the region's culture and traditions. After the war, Thompson settled in Thailand and became involved in the country's silk industry, which at the time was a cottage industry on the verge of collapse. Recognizing the beauty and potential of Thai silk, he dedicated himself to reviving the craft. In 1948, he founded the Thai Silk Company, which quickly gained international acclaim. Thompson's keen eye for design, combined with his marketing skills, transformed Thai silk into a luxury fabric coveted by fashion designers and customers worldwide. By the 1950s and 1960s, Thompson had become a prominent figure in Thailand, earning the moniker the Silk King. He was also a well-known socialite, hosting lavish parties at his Bangkok home, which itself became a tourist attraction known as the Jim Thompson House. The house, a stunning blend of traditional Thai architecture and Western comforts, showcased his love for Southeast Asian art and culture. Jim embarked on a brief weekend holiday in March 1967 to visit a friend's residence, the Moonlight Bungalow, located in the scenic 5,000-foot-high rainforest of the Cameron Highlands in central Malaysia. On the Sunday of Easter, March 26th, he attended church, had lunch with his hosts and a companion, and then took a stroll in the afternoon while they were taking a nap. The most extensive land search in Southeast Asia was conducted, involving hundreds of individuals working full-time for 11 days. This search included Malay Police Field Force officers, Thai police, Malaysian Army personnel, British Army volunteers, US Army observers, Boy Scouts, patients from a local hospital, Orang Asli indigenous native trackers, the world's most renowned mystic, and over 118 local mystics. One scholar posits that the solution to Thompson's mystery could be found in certain bone fragments unearthed in the Cameron Highlands in 1985. The skeletal remains, devoid of the cranium, were unearthed by Orang Asli squatters in a burial site situated on the periphery of a vegetable field by the major thoroughfare in Brinchang. Master Mariner Captain Philip J. Rivers reported that he was informed of the finding by a health officer during his investigation into Thompson's disappearance in 2007. Upon collecting the fragments, the authorities established no link to Thompson's disappearance in Tanah Rata, as they were discovered in Brinchang. The likelihood is that his body remained undetected in the dense vegetation, concealed within an unmarked burial site following a hit-and-run incident. Rivers stated that a DNA test conducted on the bones could potentially offer a more comprehensive response. Thus far, there has been no definitive verification that the bones are the legitimate remains of Thompson. Rivers also states that the bones are currently stored in a secure and protected location. As of right now, his disappearance remains a mystery. The mystery of the Vimana, a mythological flying palace or chariot described in Hindu texts. The concept of advanced flying machines is often considered a product of modern science fiction, but ancient Hindu texts tell a different story. According to these texts, Vimana were flying palaces or chariots used by gods and legendary figures capable of traveling vast distances through the air. Described in astonishing detail in ancient scriptures such as the Vedas, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, these vehicles are depicted with features and capabilities that eerily resemble modern aircraft and even spaceships. Some researchers and enthusiasts believe that the accounts of Vimana could be more than just myth. They could be evidence of early UFO sightings or even advanced technology possessed by ancient civilizations. The word Vimana in Sanskrit generally means a vehicle or craft, and it is most commonly associated with flying machines. These flying machines are prominently featured in several ancient Hindu texts, with descriptions that vary in detail and purpose. In the Ramayana, for example, the Pushpaka Vimana is described as a flying palace that belonged to the demon king Ravana. This Vimana was said to be capable of flying at great speeds and could travel to any place on Earth at the command of its owner. It was large enough to accommodate Ravana's entire court, suggesting that it was not only a means of transport, but also a symbol of power and luxury. Similarly, the Mahabharata, another ancient epic, contains references to Vimana used in battles, where they are depicted as highly maneuverable and equipped with weapons of great power. These texts describe the Vimana as capable of moving vertically, horizontally, and even disappearing from sight, which some interpret as evidence of advanced propulsion systems and cloaking technology. Other ancient texts, such as the Vedas and various Puranas, also mention Vimana, often in the context of divine or semi-divine beings, using them to travel between Earth and the heavens. The Samarangana Sutradhara, a 12th century Sanskrit treatise on architecture, dedicates several chapters to the construction and operation of Vimana, detailing materials, designs, and even instructions for their use. For those who believe in the possibility of ancient UFOs, the descriptions of Vimana in Hindu texts are compelling. The detailed accounts of these flying machines, with their advanced capabilities, suggest that they may have been more than just products of the imagination. Some researchers theorize that Vimana could have been real, physical machines, perhaps remnants of a lost civilization with advanced technology, or even the result of contact with extraterrestrial beings. One popular theory is that ancient civilizations, including those in India, may have been visited by extraterrestrial beings who shared their technology with humans. The Vimana, according to this theory, could have been advanced aircraft provided by these beings, or reverse-engineered by humans who were taught or inspired by these visitors. The notion that ancient texts might contain descriptions of alien technology is not new, and the Vimana are often cited as key evidence in this argument. Supporters of this theory point to the precise descriptions of the Vimana's capabilities, such as the ability to fly at great speeds, hover, and travel vast distances, characteristics that align with modern descriptions of UFOs. They also highlight the fact that these texts were written thousands of years ago, long before the invention of aircraft, suggesting that the knowledge of such technology must have come from an external source. The Pushpaka Vimana, as described in the Ramayana, is perhaps the most famous of all the Vimana. This flying palace, which originally belonged to Kubera, the god of wealth, was taken by Ravana and later used by Lord Rama to return to his kingdom after defeating Ravana in battle. The Pushpaka Vimana is described as a magnificent vehicle, capable of flying through the sky at the speed of thought, guided by mental commands rather than physical controls. The description of the Pushpaka Vimana includes intricate details about its construction and features, such as its ability to expand and contract, its luxurious interiors, and its smooth, silent flight. These descriptions have led some researchers to speculate that the Pushpaka Vimana was not just a mythological creation, but a real aircraft, possibly powered by advanced technology that has since been lost to history. The disappearance of Wroe Bechtel. Unfortunately, individuals disappearing with no trace is not an uncommon occurrence, and Wroe Bechtel is one such sad case. Amy was 24 when she married Steve Bechtel, a fellow fitness enthusiast. A seemingly idyllic young couple, after their 1996 marriage, they moved to Lander, Wyoming, so that Steve could pursue his rock climbing passion, while Amy could run and teach fitness classes. They had purchased the house that they were planning on moving into, and Amy had a long list of tasks to complete in order to finish the process. On July 24, 1997, Steve departed for a rock climbing trip with one of his friends, while Amy left to teach a fitness class and complete some of her long list of errands to get the house ready to move into before planning to take a jog on Loop Road in the Shoshone National Forest. When Steve returned after a long day of rock climbing, Amy still had not returned, but he was not immediately concerned, considering her long list of items that she planned to accomplish that day. He visited with his neighbors, Todd and Amy Skinner, around 8:15, noting that she was not back yet, but not seeming overly worried yet. However, at around 11 in the evening, when there was still no sign of Amy, he returned to the neighbors and recruited their help as the search for Wroe Bechtel began. The Skinners drove through several of the roads that Amy typically took when jogging and located her white Toyota station wagon abandoned on Loop Road at approximately 1 in the morning. However, no trace of Amy could be found around the car, even after the search expanded to include over 500 people searching over a 20-mile radius over the course of 8 days, before the search unfortunately had to be called off. The only trace of Amy that was ever found were her sunglasses, to-do list, and car keys, which were located inside of her car. It seemed that she likely had her wallet with her, wherever she was. Wroe Bechtel was never found, and no other clues led to the resolution of this unsolved mystery, leading to her being declared legally deceased in 2004, 7 years after her disappearance. Her husband Steve was temporarily investigated as a suspect, but he was never charged, although some still believe that he is the one to blame for Amy's loss of life. Investigators searching the home found several journals and poems that Steve had written with violent themes and such. Later investigators also admitted that his plans for the day included several holes. Additionally, Amy's brother Nell disclosed that he had noticed a strange bruise on her arm several weeks before her disappearance. When he brought it up to her, she claimed that Steve would occasionally get a little rough with her, leading Nell to privately believe that he was hurting her. However, Steve was never charged by investigators and personally believes that Amy was either taken by a stranger as she jogged on Loop Road or was struck by a car, causing the driver to panic and hide her body. However, the cause of her disappearance has never been found, and Wroe Bechtel was never seen again. Cameron Robbins, an 18-year-old individual who recently finished high school, has been unaccounted for since the 24th of May, after falling into the waters near the Bahamas while aboard a Sunset cruise ship. While on a celebratory trip to the Bahamas with friends, Mr. Robbins, who had just graduated from the University Laboratory School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, mysteriously vanished while in the ocean. On the 24th of May, Mr. Robbins went overboard while on a sunset cruise called Blackbeard's Revenge with the group. Based on the information provided, it's alleged that Mr. Robbins willingly leaped off the boat as part of a dare. A video capturing the incident reveals Mr. Robbins swimming in near-total darkness. But since the footage was released, various theories have been put forward to explain what happened, with some suggesting that it was a shark, while others pointed out that it sounded like the audio had been tampered with. After jumping off the boat, Mr. Robbins hasn't been seen since. The search for Mr. Robbins by the US Coast Guard and Royal Bahamas Defense Force lasted for multiple days, until it was suspended on Saturday, May 27th. Cameron Robbins, an 18-year-old individual, recently completed his high school education at University Laboratory School. This institution is affiliated with Louisiana State University and is located in Baton Rouge. According to reports, it has been stated that Mr. Robbins engaged in playing baseball during his time at school. Mr. Robbins and friends were vacationing at the Atlantis Paradise Resort in the Bahamas to commemorate their graduation, as confirmed by Louisiana State University. The excursion was not officially approved by the school. University Lab School Director Kevin George stated that Mr. Robbins was a student at the school for 13 years. The University Lab School community hopes for the best outcome in this situation and said that they have personally communicated with Cameron's family and noted that at the time of his disappearance, authorities in the Bahamas were actively searching for him. The university said that in moments like these, it is vital for us to unite and provide support to one another. It is claimed that during the trip, Mr. Robbins was challenged to leap off the boat. According to Jonathan Chia, a representative from Pirates Revenge Limited, the parent company of Blackbeard's Revenge, Mr. Robbins fell into the water at around 9:40 in the evening. Chia provided the following information in a statement. The video, recorded shortly after Mr. Robbins leaped into the water, depicted the 18-year-old swimming near the boat while the passengers on the Sunset cruise shouted at him. During the video, people can be heard encouraging Mr. Robbins to clutch onto the floating device they tossed into the water specifically for him. According to Mr. Chia, the ship's crew followed all authorized safety procedures and company policies when implementing the man overboard protocol. Their ultimate goal was to maximize the chances of rescuing someone who had fallen into the water. According to a video posted on Facebook, Commodore Raymond King of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force stated that the location where Mr. Robbins reportedly jumped into is known for having a high presence of sharks, and those who've analyzed the video have said that you can see shadows swimming closely to Mr. Robbins, causing some to suggest that a shark could have been responsible, as bull and tiger sharks can be found in the Bahamas. One of the sharks that could have been responsible for Mr. Robbins' disappearance is the bull shark. Bull sharks are known for their aggressive behavior and are considered one of the most dangerous shark species when it comes to interactions with humans. Bull sharks are found in coastal waters around the world and are known for their tolerance to both saltwater and freshwater environments. One of the reasons bull sharks are considered dangerous to humans is their proximity to shorelines and popular swimming areas. Unlike many other shark species that inhabit deep offshore waters, bull sharks are commonly found in coastal regions, including bays, harbors, and river mouths. This close proximity to human-populated areas increases the likelihood of encounters between bull sharks and swimmers, surfers, and divers. Bull sharks are known for their aggressive nature and have been involved in a significant number of unprovoked attacks on humans. They have a reputation for displaying territorial behavior and are more likely to engage in aggressive encounters than other shark species. While bull sharks are responsible for a relatively small percentage of shark attacks worldwide, their ability to adapt to various habitats and their assertive behavior make them a potential threat in certain environments. The other shark known throughout the region where Mr. Robbins went missing is that of the tiger shark. Tiger sharks are known for their large size, formidable teeth, and powerful jaws, making them one of the most feared shark species in the ocean. Tiger sharks are named for their distinctive dark stripes that resemble a tiger's pattern. They are large-bodied sharks, with adult females reaching lengths of up to 14 feet and males typically measuring around 11 to 13 feet. Tiger sharks are known for their opportunistic feeding habits and are often referred to as garbage cans of the sea due to their ability to consume almost anything they come across. They have a diverse diet that includes fish, seals, turtles, dolphins, birds, and even other sharks, and it's this versatility and willingness to scavenge that makes them more likely to interact with humans in various coastal and offshore environments. Tiger sharks are responsible for a notable number of unprovoked attacks on humans. The perception of tiger sharks as potentially dangerous stems from their size, powerful jaws, and their presence in popular swimming and surfing areas. They are commonly found in warm coastal waters around the world, including the tropics and subtropics. This overlap with recreational activities increases the likelihood of encounters between humans and tiger sharks. The US Coast Guard has not verified the rumors suggesting that the waters are populated by sharks. The US Coast Guard, District 7, was notified by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force at approximately 11:30 in the evening regarding the incident of Mr. Robbins falling overboard. This information was conveyed in an official statement issued by the Coast Guard. In an official statement, Lieutenant Commander Matthew Spado, the Coast Guard liaison officer to the Bahamas, announced that the US Coast Guard District 7 has dispatched several search and rescue resources following a request for assistance from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Mr. Chia stated that Pirates Revenge Limited had a close collaboration with the Bahamian authorities and the US Coast Guard throughout the incident, and said that during the investigation, they were committed to ongoing cooperation with the authorities. Over the course of multiple days, both the Coast Guard and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force conducted an extensive search in the area where Mr. Robbins went missing, thoroughly scouring both the location itself and the surrounding waters. This search was conducted utilizing air crews and employing specific search patterns. After conducting an extensive search over an area of over 325 square miles, the Coast Guard, in collaboration with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, wrapped up their search operations on May 27th. In the statement, Mr. Spado conveyed that the Royal Bahamas Defense Force had notified them about the suspension of the ongoing search efforts and their decision to not seek additional Coast Guard assistance. He also expressed his deepest condolences to the family and friends of Cameron Robbins in light of this news. During an official statement, Mr. Chia expressed that Pirates Revenge Limited thoroughly assessed and evaluated their safety measures and protocols. They are assured that the company's practices have consistently aligned with the top industry standards, ensuring the safety of their passengers. With the approval of the Bahamian authorities, Pirates Revenge Limited has commenced the operation of their cruise ship once again. In addition, Mr. Chia extended his gratitude to the crew for their unwavering professionalism and proficient execution of their responsibilities throughout the incident. There's many who've said that the video can be solved by identifying the mysterious shadows that emerge in the water, which caused him to swim away hastily. There has been online speculation triggered by the video suggesting that Robbins's demise may have been caused by a shark pursuing him. Several individuals have asserted that they can distinctly discern a shark in the footage. As mentioned, Commodore Raymond King of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force confirmed that the region where Robbins fell overboard is heavily populated with sharks. Other users pointed out that they noticed the presence of a shark on the left side of the video, while one user confidently claimed to have spotted a fin in the short video clip. The Bahamas, with its crystal-clear waters and stunning coral reefs, is a popular destination for beachgoers and water enthusiasts. However, amid the beauty and serenity of these turquoise seas, there is a lurking fear that captivates the minds of many: shark attacks. Shark attacks are a rare occurrence in the Bahamas, but they do happen. The archipelago is home to various species of sharks, and while sharks are an essential part of the marine ecosystem and play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the underwater world, their encounters with humans can sometimes result in negative outcomes. Several factors contribute to shark attacks in the Bahamas. One of the primary factors is the interaction between humans and sharks in their natural habitat. The Bahamas offers exceptional diving and snorkeling opportunities, where tourists and locals can explore the vibrant coral reefs and swim alongside marine life. While these experiences are captivating, they can bring humans into close proximity with sharks, increasing the chances of an encounter. Another factor is the presence of bait and food sources in the water. Fishing and the improper disposal of fish waste can attract sharks to areas frequented by humans. Additionally, certain activities, such as spearfishing or fishing with bait, can unintentionally draw sharks closer to humans, creating a higher risk of an encounter. In the case of Mr. Robbins, some have suggested that the group may have been unknowingly chumming the water by accident, and they could have been doing this by dropping food into the water, which would have attracted wildlife. It is essential to note that the vast majority of shark encounters do not result in attacks. Sharks are often curious creatures, and may approach humans out of curiosity or to investigate their surroundings. In most cases, these encounters are harmless and serve as a reminder of the beauty and diversity of marine life. However, there have been instances where sharks have exhibited aggressive behavior, leading to attacks. The Bahamas has implemented measures to ensure the safety of both humans and sharks in their waters. Shark conservation efforts aim to promote responsible interactions and minimize the risks associated with shark encounters. These efforts include educational programs, public awareness campaigns, and guidelines for divers and snorkelers. One such initiative is the establishment of marine protected areas and shark sanctuaries. These areas restrict fishing and other activities that could harm shark populations and their habitats. By protecting these vital areas, the Bahamian government aims to maintain the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem and ensure the long-term survival of sharks and other marine species. The discovery of giant skeletons in the United States has long captivated the imagination of people around the world. Tales of enormous humanoid remains, often referred to as giant skeletons, have fueled speculation about a hidden chapter of human history. According to various sources such as newspaper articles, scientific journals, historical documents and photographs, over the course of 2 centuries in North America, more than 1,000 skeletal remains of individuals who measured at least 7 feet in height have been discovered. These accounts reach from the east to west coasts of the United States and describe anomalies such as skulls with elongated shapes, excessive teeth, and jawbones that dwarfed the finder's face. The information that has been amassed on these discoveries is well documented. During the 1800s, it was reported that enormous skeletal remains were found in the burial mounds of North America. According to the reports, the skeletons were described as having a length of 7 to 8 feet, while some purported discoveries reaching 9 to 11 feet. Additionally, these skeletons were noted to have enormous skulls and lower jawbones. Early records from local historians frequently documented these remains, as evident in the following excerpt from Cass County, Michigan. Dr. Bonine had discovered a 13-feet-high mound with a diameter of the base approximately 50 feet and unusual skeletons. According to Dr. Bonine, one of the male skeletons, currently in his possession, had a well-preserved large femur, which indicates that the owner was likely 7 feet tall or more. Antiquarian scholars have documented the anthropology of ancient tall people found in prehistoric mounds. An article from the American Antiquarian, Volume 2, Number 1, provides an account from Chillicothe, Illinois. It is a commonly known fact that during the 19th and early 20th centuries, newspapers would often report on the discovery of large-scale skeletons found across the United States. An article from the News Herald on January 3, 1895, based in Portsmouth, Ohio, is a prime example of this trend. It's reported that bridge carpenters discovered an enormous skeleton while conducting excavation work. The finding occurred near Portsmouth, about 3 miles east of the area. The skeleton measured an astounding 7 feet and 4 inches in size. During the 1880s, the Eastern Mound Division of the Smithsonian Institute found many huge skeletons while destroying Native American burial mounds in North America. The Bureau of Ethnology's 12th annual report provides evidence of various large skeletons that were discovered by Smithsonian agents. Near the original surface of the mound, lying at full length upon its back, was one of the largest skeletons discovered by the Bureau agents. The length, as proved by actual measurement, being between 7 and 8 feet. Located at the heart of Mound 11, and buried approximately 3 feet deep, is a vault measuring 8 feet in length and 3 feet in width. Within this vault was discovered a complete human skeleton, measuring an impressive 7 feet in length. This particular specimen's height was determined to be roughly 7.5 feet when it was alive. Researchers arrived at this estimation based on the measurement distance between the skull base and toe bones, which came out to be about 7 feet 3 inches. During the 1900s, archaeologists took a renewed interest in ancient giants. With the help of Charles Snow, William S. Webb from the University of Kentucky was able to confirm that the distinct skeletal characteristics observed by previous sources belonged to the Adena mound building culture. Webb and Snow's study of Adena's anthropology was documented in 2 volumes of the Adena people. The first volume was published in 1945, and the second was co-written with Raymond S. Beebe and published in 1957. The forehead is typically highly noticeable and is situated beneath quite prominent brow ridges. The size of the jawbone's distinctive bulge is moderately projected. Generally, cheekbones are both large and noticeably prominent, extending forward and to the side. This information comes from a publication by Webb, Snow and Beebe in 1957. Moreover, in their analysis, Webb, Snow and Beebe observed a distinct bony chin structure, which is characterized by bilateral prominences leading to an extensive chin width. Although today known as the Maryland Science Center, one of the oldest scientific institutions of the United States, dating all the way back to 1797, the Maryland Science Center used to go by the name of the Maryland Academy of Sciences several decades ago. Dated back to the 25th of November, back in 1897, the Maryland Academy of Sciences was reported to have been in the possession of several skeletons of a lost Native American tribe of giants. Though the skeletons were not nearly as tall as many of the other claimed findings of previous years, the Academy of Sciences claimed that their collection featured 3 full skeletons of 7-foot-tall Native American giants, believed to have been a part of an entire tribe of gigantic native people. The Red-Headed Giants of Lovelock Cave. The next Native American legend we will be discussing surrounds the historical existence of cannibals in a small cave on the outskirts of Humboldt Sink, Nevada. The place is called Lovelock Cave and is about 150 feet long. The legend claims that the cave was once inhabited by 10 feet tall and red-haired giants who harmed and ate humans from the neighboring communities. The giants, known as Siteka, were deeply feared by the Paiute Indians. The Paiute Indians eliminated the giants by trapping them inside the caves and funneling smoke inside until they passed away. Lovelock Cave, in which they lived, has since been a huge archaeological site and home to the discovery of over 10,000 artifacts. The University of California and its anthropologists went in and discovered tons of unique artifacts, like baskets, finely crafted sage brushes, knives, and other tools. They also found human bones, some of which were missing the marrow that had been dug out. This increased the truth of cannibalistic speculations and that the humans living within the cave ate other humans. Researchers claimed that most of the human bones remained untouched, and the bones that were missing marrow and sported knife marks might have been done out of necessity or famine and not a regular diet. The anthropologist Llewellyn L. Loud was in charge of the Lovelock Cave expeditions when he and his team discovered nearly 10,000 different artifacts. It took him many years of research and work before he could completely publish a full report of the findings. That being said, none of his findings directly proved the existence of 10 feet tall beings, and any human bones found were of the regular size for the time period. The cave was not easy to explore as it suffered from a collapse in roughly the year 440 BC, which led to the destruction of numerous access points. This likely influenced the residents of the cave to leave and find a home elsewhere. The new residents of the cave were mainly bats that, over time, caused a large pileup of guano to cover the ground and all the artifacts. The cave has since been the site of many expeditions from various facilities and research centers, but none have yet to uncover any scientific proof of 10 feet tall giants.
Sacsayhuaman in Peru. The word Sacsayhuaman comes from the Quechua language, translates roughly to royal eagle, or more literally, the place where the hawk was satiated. It is thought that it gained this name due to the high presence of these birds in the area where the structure was built. Sacsayhuaman is an architectural complex in the city of Cusco, Peru. The building was erected by the Incas in the 15th century under the 9th Incan leader, Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, and his successors. A project as massive as this necessitated the hard work of at least 20,000 labourers, which were divided by the thousands and given jobs such as quarrying duties, digging trenches, and laying the foundations of this huge monument. This fortress is the largest built by the Incas. It was constructed on an elevated rocky head facing the northern marshy ground outside the Incan capital, Cusco. The Incas were known as master stonemasons, and their abilities are demonstrated wonderfully in this building. It was built using dry stone walls and boulders that were fit tightly together using mortar. Although they did not use anything to cement the stones together, their mechanics ensured that the building stood strong and stable. The huge blocks of stone making up the temple were shaped using nothing but harder rocks and bronze tools. Based on the marks left on these stones, researchers believe they were mostly pounded into shape rather than being cut. The blocks must have been moved around using ropes, levers, poles, and earth-made ramps. This is evident due to the indentations that remained on the stones even after they were fit into place in the building. It was built to withstand earthquakes and the damage from such natural disasters through the interlocking of the blocks and sloped walls, which maximized protection. It is definitely apparent that this proved to be successful, as the building has survived over 500 years of earthquakes. The area also contains a variety of buildings, such as residential spaces, towers, holy places, warehouses, roadways, and aqueducts. The positioning and placing of the area is similar to other Incan locations, like the Machu Picchu. It stands as a testament to the Incas' skills in architecture and their ability to create a structure that worked in harmony with the natural landscape of the place. It is simply incredible to see the remains of history and the magnificent skills and abilities of those who lived before us, and to be able to witness the architectural pursuits that were accomplished without the use of modern technology and resources. Tesla want to make humanoid robots. A robot uprising is part of many sci-fi and dystopia classics, though with the robots that are being developed, from Alexa to more complex AI, some are worried that it will not be long before this terrifying trope is part of our lives. This is not helped by the 2021 announcement that Tesla is working on a TeslaBot, a humanoid robot that Elon Musk claims could have a working prototype by 2022. Musk has said that the TeslaBot will take care of chores and jobs that us humans just are not fans of. As he continued to describe the robot, he said the AI technology that goes into the TeslaBot will be the same used in the cars, though this humanoid will be decked out with an intricate camera setup to keep an eye on what is going on in the world. A frankly, quite unnerving design is going to be about 1.7 meters tall. Musk has said that the robot is intended to be friendly. While in the world of AI, there may not be definite answers nor a great deal of certainty, the intended does not fill us with a great deal of reassurance. The purpose of the robots is to take off of our hands the jobs that we just do not want to do. These were described by Musk as those that are dangerous, repetitive, and boring. The idea is that any physical work will eventually become optional, thanks to the TeslaBot. A function that looks as though it could be featured is the ability for the robot to understand simple instructions, such as picking up groceries for you. Musk hopes that the TeslaBot could even fill the labor gap, though others are concerned about jobs being taken away from humans in need of work. Of course, the Tesla cars themselves have not come without criticism, with many questioning the capabilities of the self-driving features, following the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration claiming to have identified 11 crashes being the fault of the Tesla cars hitting emergency services vehicles that were parked in the road. One incident resulted in a fatality and in total 17 injuries. Despite these incidents, Musk maintains his view that the Tesla self-driving system is safer than humans on the road. Whatever your personal opinion is, I am sure you can understand the concerns of those wary about the Tesla AI in cars, never mind the same system being used to create humanoids allegedly capable of taking jobs over for us. The world of AI is controversial as it is, though the work of Tesla and Elon Musk himself has caused an even greater divide, with some cheering on the scientific advancements and others wary of the economic and social implications. This expansive road materialized along the coastline of Sakine Island. The mysterious photographs quickly led to the emergence of various theories regarding a potential lost civilization.
A massive stone road suddenly appeared on the shores of Sakine Island. Although it was only visible for a brief period of time, it attracted enough attention for hundreds of photographs to be captured. The unexpected appearance startled the residents of the island, and many of them said that the mysterious road appeared out of nowhere. Sakine Island is situated in the Ring of Fire, an area renowned for its significant subduction zones. This accounts for the frequent occurrence of intense seismic and volcanic activity on the island. It shares its southern border with Japanese islands. It is important to note that certain individuals who question the origin of these enigmatic structures argue that a natural cause is the most plausible explanation. However, it should be acknowledged that while this explanation may account for their formation, it does not provide insight into their actual creation. The massive road can be observed to bear a striking resemblance to those constructed by ancient civilizations, but it has been noticeably weathered by the relentless force of the sea. Therefore, numerous individuals have expressed the desire for a comprehensive geological or archaeological examination to be conducted on this enigmatic formation. It is important to mention that in close proximity to that location, along the coast of Japan, there exist enigmatic underwater structures known as yonaguni. Various researchers have suggested that these submerged structures are associated with the mysterious civilization known as Mu. The expansive highway running along the coastline of Sakine bears a striking resemblance to the well-known Bimini Road, which is believed to be the remnants of the mythical Atlantis discovered in the Caribbean Sea. The colossal highway remains shrouded in mystery, with limited information available regarding its nature, except for its remarkable and transitory existence. The allure of the oceans has always captivated human imagination, offering sustenance, exploration, and trade routes to countless civilizations throughout history. However, beneath the depths lies a profound mystery. The ocean's relentless advance has claimed numerous ancient civilizations, swallowing their cities, cultures, and stories into its abyss. The history of humanity is replete with examples of thriving civilizations that flourished along coastlines, deltas, and rivers, only to be engulfed by the rising tides. The lost city of Atlantis, a legendary civilization described by Plato, has intrigued scholars for centuries. Although its existence remains disputed, the narrative underscores the fascination with the concept of a magnificent civilization consumed by the sea. Natural disasters, shifting tectonic plates, and rising sea levels have all played pivotal roles in the submersion of ancient civilizations. The destruction wrought by earthquakes and tsunamis can erase entire coastal communities from the face of the earth. The Minoan civilization, centered on the island of Crete, is an illustrative example. Around 1600 BCE, the cataclysmic eruption of the Thera volcano generated tsunamis that devastated Minoan settlements and contributed to the civilization's decline. Additionally, the inexorable rise of sea levels due to melting ice caps and climate change poses a contemporary threat. The sunken city of Pavlopetri, located off the coast of Greece, serves as a stark reminder of this phenomenon. Submerged around 1000 BCE, the ruins offer insights into early urban planning and societal organization, while also sounding a warning about the environmental challenges faced by modern coastal communities. The stories of these submerged civilizations resonate with profound lessons that extend beyond their historical contexts. They underscore the impermanence of human achievements and the vulnerability of even the most advanced societies in the face of natural forces. The oceans, which once nurtured and sustained these civilizations, now serve as repositories of their memory, reminding us of the transitory nature of human endeavors. Advancements in technology have revolutionized our ability to explore and document the submerged remnants of ancient civilizations. Underwater archaeology, remote sensing techniques, and robotic exploration tools have allowed researchers to delve into the depths and unearth treasures hidden beneath the waves. These discoveries enrich our understanding of history and culture, while offering opportunities for interdisciplinary collaboration between archaeologists, oceanographers, and environmental scientists. Across cultures and civilizations, tales of a catastrophic deluge have been woven into the fabric of human history, leaving an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. From the Epic of Gilgamesh to the biblical story of Noah's Ark, the theme of a great flood that engulfs the world and reshapes humanity's destiny transcends time and geography. The Great Flood narrative is not confined to a single culture. Instead, it emerges as a universal motif that spans the globe. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known works of literature from ancient Mesopotamia, recounts the story of a catastrophic flood unleashed by the gods to punish humanity's transgressions. The tale of Utnapishtim, a survivor of the flood, mirrors the biblical account of Noah's Ark, where a chosen family and pairs of animals are saved from the waters. In Indian mythology, the Matsya Purana recounts the story of King Manu, who is warned of an impending flood by a fish, which later transforms into a giant fish to save him and the world's creatures. Similarly, in the Native American tradition, the Hopi people share stories of the Great Deluge, describing how they were led to safety on the back of a turtle. These diverse flood narratives reflect the human impulse to grapple with questions of mortality, divine intervention, and the cyclical nature of existence. The universality of the theme suggests that, despite vast geographical distances and cultural differences, societies sought to explain the unfathomable forces of nature and their own place within the cosmos. The Great Flood narrative often serves as a moral lesson, reminding humanity of the consequences of hubris and the need for humility and respect for the natural world. It encapsulates a collective fear of the uncontrollable, a reverence for the power of the elements, and a desire for salvation and renewal. While the Great Flood narrative is deeply rooted in mythology and cultural memory, scientific investigations have sought to uncover the kernels of truth that might underlie these stories. Geological evidence suggests that catastrophic floods did occur in various regions throughout history, often resulting from the melting of glaciers, the collapse of natural dams, or tsunamis triggered by seismic events. One of the most notable examples is the flooding of the Black Sea around 7,000 years ago, which may have inspired some of the flood narratives in the region. The Mediterranean Sea once breached the natural barrier, inundating the basin and creating a dramatic flood that could have been etched into local memory and passed down through generations. The Great Flood narrative continues to resonate in modern times, offering insights into the human capacity to grapple with uncertainty and change. These narratives also prompt us to consider the ethical and moral dimensions of our relationship with the environment. They encourage us to reflect on our responsibility as stewards of the earth and the consequences of heedless exploitation of natural resources. The recurring motif of a catastrophic deluge transcends time and geography, permeating the myths and legends of numerous ancient civilizations. The Great Flood narrative holds a profound cultural significance, often serving as a foundation for a civilization's creation myths and religious beliefs. Many ancient societies attached divine meaning to the concept of a flood, using it as a backdrop to explain the origins of humanity, the gods' interactions with mortals, and the cyclical nature of life and death. The universality of the flood narrative could stem from a shared human experience of facing natural calamities, creating an empathetic bridge across cultures. Floods are among the most devastating of natural disasters, leaving a lasting imprint on societies that experienced them. The documentation of the Great Flood may have been a way for ancient civilizations to cope with the fear and trauma associated with such events by imbuing them with meaning and purpose. The documentation of the Great Flood could also be rooted in the environmental realities faced by these civilizations. Many ancient settlements were situated near rivers, lakes, or coastlines, making them vulnerable to flooding. As communities were periodically ravaged by deluges, the experiences of witnessing the destruction and struggling for survival would have etched themselves into the collective memory. Over time, these experiences might have been elaborated upon and integrated into cultural narratives, serving as cautionary tales that reinforce the importance of respecting natural boundaries. The documentation of the Great Flood by so many ancient civilizations offers a window into the intricate interplay of culture, psychology, environment, and shared experience. The universality of the flood narrative demonstrates the profound ways in which humans grapple with the mysteries of existence, our relationship with nature, and the enduring quest for meaning in a complex and unpredictable world. The tapestry of human history is a rich and intricate narrative that spans millennia, shaping the course of civilization as we know it. However, a staggering revelation casts a shadow over our understanding of the past. Approximately 98% of human history remains shrouded in obscurity, hidden beneath the veil of time. The vast majority of human history rests in the realm of the unknown, existing only as fragmented whispers in the archaeological record and speculative theories. Our comprehension of the ancient world is primarily derived from artifacts, ruins and inscriptions, but these remnants often offer mere glimpses into the cultures, societies and events that defined the lives of our distant ancestors. The scarcity of written records, the perishable nature of materials, and the ravages of time have collectively conspired to obscure the intricate narratives of countless civilizations. Several factors contribute to the immense historical gaps that mark our understanding of the past. One of the most significant challenges lies in the lack of written records from pre-literate societies. In the absence of written language, societies relied on oral traditions to pass down their knowledge and stories, leaving little trace for modern historians to decipher. Moreover, the materials used for early writing were often perishable, such as papyrus or wood, rendering them susceptible to decay over time. Natural disasters and conflict have also played a pivotal role in erasing entire chapters of human history. Cataclysmic events like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and floods have submerged ancient settlements and destroyed valuable records. Additionally, the deliberate destruction of cultural heritage during times of conflict or conquest has further contributed to the loss of historical knowledge. The scarcity of historical information carries profound implications for our understanding of human development, societal evolution, and cultural dynamics. The missing epochs leave us bereft of insights into the complexities of governance, technology, belief systems, and artistic expression that shaped the trajectory of humanity. The lost civilizations could hold the keys to understanding the roots of modern societal challenges and the solutions that were developed and subsequently forgotten. Furthermore, the absence of this vast historical wealth deprives us of a sense of continuity and connection with our distant past. It is akin to a jigsaw puzzle with innumerable missing pieces, leaving gaps in our collective identity and understanding of where we come from.